What's up, weirdos? What's going on, guys? All right. Another day, another dip. What's happening? Let's check out that Bitcoin chart, shall we? All right. So, not a terrible close. Closed right around 115,600. I mean, we're a little above it right now. I was anticipating a potential dip all the way down here to 114,000. We haven't done it yet. We still could over the weekend. We could dip down to 114, maybe a little bit lower on a wick to climb back up again for the inverse head and shoulders to play out. You're going to want to keep an eye on that, guys. You're going to want to keep an eye on that. The reason you're going to want to keep an eye on that is because the breakout target on that inverse head and shoulders is about $142,000 for Bitcoin. Altcoins are going to respond very, very nicely to a move like that. So, something to watch, guys. Something to watch. What do we got? Gary, dropping that cheddar. You're going to love my nuts. Yeah, I remember the ShamWow guy. I remember. Thanks for everything you do, Rob. You may get a lot of people. For the majority of us, really appreciate what you do. Thanks for building a wonderful community. Hey, absolutely, Gary. You guys are the ones that do it for, right? You're right. I catch a lot of crap, because I spend so much time trying to please everybody all the time that I just decided, you know what? I'm just gonna do what I'm gonna do, right? And I appreciate you, Gary. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for supporting me. Big Kev, what's up, man? Today was a great day to DCA over on the Patreon. We're printing money faster than the U.S. government. LFG and Pack the Cat. Pico, baby, as well, to the moon. Let's freaking go. Jared, brother man, can you look at Zora and where the nearest supports may be when you have an opportunity? Swing tier is on fire. Yes, I dropped 2 trades over on in the trading group tonight, guys. So you're definitely going to want to be over there for that. Let me see if I have Zora over on... I do, yeah. Oof, Zora, man. I don't know. You could have a head and shoulders playing out here on Zora. You could have a bit of a head and shoulders pattern going on here, brother. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Could be. Maybe could be. Looks like it. Boop, boop, boop. Break to the downside on that. You're probably going to end up somewhere right around here. Probably somewhere right around 4 cents 4.2 area. It's probably where you're going to end up, which is perfectly in line with resistance back here where we wicked to when it first got listed over here on KuCoin, right? So you got up there, you got resistance, you came back down, exactly the perfect level. You've had support here. So the head and shoulders breakdown probably going to bring you back down here to around that 4 cent 4.2 level. That would be a great DCA opportunity right there, my friend. So yeah, that's what you're going to watch there. Wick3, thank you so much, man, for the super sticker. Guys, thank you so much. I love you guys. You know that? The support of the community is just off the charts, man. Off the charts. Thank you so much, guys. Let's get into the chat a little bit, see what's going on. I'm drained today, guys. Holy smokes. You know me. First like. There you go, man. I appreciate you, brother. LFG and Pico. Let's get it. Pico for the win. Pete, absolutely. Pico and LFG win in my books. There you go, man. Hoover, good evening, all. Robin, all. What's going on, man? Jarrett, good evening, fam. If you haven't joined the family, what are you waiting for? What are you doing with your life? Yes, exactly. Nick, what is Pico? Pico is the latest and greatest meme coin on the market, my friend. You're going to want to check out Pico the Cat for sure. Ticker is exactly that. Pico, P-E-K-O. H. Barbarina in the house. What's going on? Bell, spent the last of my dry powder yesterday on Moonwell and Honey. Now I'm just sitting on my hands and being patient. Thanks for all your knowledge. Hey, you picked up 2 fantastic projects yesterday, man. That's for sure. Please, guys, make sure you hit the like and subscribe on the way in. We have 159 people watching, and we have 46 likes. Let's get the likes up to 100, guys. House says, no likes, no bull run. That's the way she goes, man. Away she goes. What should you buy with $300? I mean, man, there's a lot of good options out there today, man. Miria, Tars AI, Cookie, Clearpool, Moonwell, Zbeck, Pith, man, Jasmine. So many good options on a day like today. Pico, LFG, right? Strange Sky, DCA, always. Thanks, Rob. God bless you and your family. Absolutely. Bless you too, my friend. Quentin, I see you, man. I see you. What's going on? J Money, Bulbasaur in the house. New intro music goes hard. I thought you guys. I was waiting for somebody to say something. There she is, Gamma Goddess in the house. Hope everyone's doing well. Who holds LFG and Pico? Because I know I do. Let's get that money. Yes, and also, guys, just so you know, it is open mic night over on the Patreon. Dave, what's up, brother man? Good to see you. Good to see you. Paul, I see you, my friend. What's going on? Wendy, what's going on, you weirdo? Good to see you. She says, hit the like button on your way in. Easy. Yo, yo, yo. What's good, Robin fam? Told you a long time it takes a village. A long time ago, it takes a village. You've built that. Absolutely. We're all part of it, man. We're all part of it. Isaac, Lickatong in the house. My guy, what's up? You turned $500 into 2K on the night Pico dropped. Thank you. Hey, absolutely, brother. That's the point, man. That's the point. Patreon members are printing money. That's the point. Cardano, cardio is hardio. Absolutely. Absolutely. Ignore the people that give you crap, Rob. They are not worth your time. Yes, absolutely. Shannon, so grateful for you, Rob. Thank you so much. I'm grateful for you too, man. Ludwig, is honey called Hive Map? Yes, it is. Yes, it is called Hive Mapper. Jared, thank you, brother. No worries, man. Doug, good evening, Rob. We are ready. Let's hold steady. Absolutely. That was a side bet for me, and it caught up some bills. There you go, man. There you go. What else do we have? Anonymous, can't wait for Moonwell to run. Hope to get that LFG and Pico run to compound. There you go, man. Kevin, thanks for all you do. Hey, no problem. Amazing Coins, what's up, my guy? Thank you for all you do. Hey, absolutely. Thank you for supporting me and the channel. Lizzie, happy birthday, Lizzie. What's going on? Good to see you. Ari, good to see you, Ari. Good to see you, as always. All right, we're all caught up in the chat, guys. Let's get into the news a little bit here, shall we? Let's see what we see. Okay. Let's pull it up. That's what she said. All right, quick shout out to the channel sponsor, guys. Decent biometric wallet, not your keys, not your coins. Keep your crypto safe. Keep it in your own self-custody. You can swap, take profits, and even stake your crypto right on your Decent wallet. Get a 2-for-1 deal on the biometric wallet today by using our link down in the description. Yes, the beard is growing quick. I'm Scottish, that's why. I'm a Celtic mofo. My beard grows really, really fast, so absolutely. Okay, let's get going here. Xi Jinping and Trump address China-U.S. trade relations. On September 19th, President Xi Jinping and Donald Trump discussed China-U.S. relations in a phone call addressing trade issues, TikTok, and technology tensions, marking potential progress. The dialogue could ease bilateral tensions, fostering a stable macroeconomic climate, potentially beneficial to risk assets, including cryptocurrency markets, through improved U.S.-China cooperation. Pico's down. Nick, everything's down. Have you looked across the market, my friend? Xi Jinping and Donald Trump engaged in constructive exchange regarding several key points, including the TikTok issue and trade relations. The leaders expressed that achieving mutual success is possible through efforts to achieve mutual respect and win-win cooperation. The implications of this dialogue include a potential easing of trade tensions, focusing on reducing restrictive measures like tariffs. Both sides aim to address outstanding issues constructively, which may improve the economic landscape for both countries. The market reaction to the call were cautious. Statements from key figures emphasized stability as a priority. BitDance expressed appreciation for the discussion on TikTok, as potential agreements may ease technology tensions. Did you know that during the previous high-level U.S.-China discussions, markets often stabilized, showing reduced geopolitical risk, benefiting various sectors, including technology and finance? So we get something positive going here, and you could see the markets respond in a positive light here, my friends. Pico versus Toshi. I'm gonna have to go with Pico. I'm not sure. I might be a little biased though. So maybe just a little bit. I believe TikTok poses a national security risk, says former CISA director. Let's get into it.
Trump and China's President Xi, they are due to speak today on trade and TikTok. It's going to happen this morning. On Tuesday, the president extending that deadline for ByteDance to divest TikTok's U.S. business. Join us right now on the national security implications of a TikTok deal. I want to bring in cybersecurity expert Krebs, who served on the inaugural as the inaugural director of Homeland Security's Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency. Good morning to you.
Morning.
TikTok has been the sort of chess piece in this sort of larger trade negotiation for quite some time. Obviously, Congress decided also quite some time ago that it represented a national security threat. I'm curious as to whether you still believed it. Do you believe it was a threat to begin with, given that if so, we've been living with that threat for now over a year and a half, and whether the solution that's being proposed, you think solves that threat?
Yeah, first off, Andrew, thanks for having me on. Look, I believe TikTok poses a risk. I think anytime you have the Chinese Communist Party with their thumb on the scale of the national conversation, particularly here in the U.S., it's a big risk. And so the Congress, as you pointed out last year, said, hey, we need full divestiture of TikTok if it's going to remain a going enterprise in the United States. And that's what we kind of see manifesting, at least today. But it has been, to your point, month after month of extension of not enforcing the law. And there are some remaining questions of whether this deal itself actually addresses the requirement passed in the, included in last year's legislation.
And so does it?
Well, it remains to be seen if that would actually be enforced. But no, I don't think that the deal itself, as it's been described, and as we may hear later today, fully complies with the law. The law is clear. It requires a complete divestiture of TikTok from ByteDance from China. And as the deal has been described, there's a 20% hard cap, or 19.9% by ByteDance. So no, I don't think that complies. But that's not to say that there's not other good stuff in the deal. And this is without question progress. It is no more kicking the can down the road, but it is data security, privacy for users. It is a reduction of influence, but there are some lingering aspects like the ownership portion by ByteDance. And I think the real sticky wicket here is the algorithm itself. Who's developing, maintaining, deploying the algorithm that frankly determines what you see, what any user sees on the platform?
Look, I've always thought, and maybe you're going to disagree with me, I've always thought that to the extent TikTok represents a threat, it was always a prospective threat, which is to say that the government, if it so chose, could use TikTok in some nefarious way in the future, but that there has never been any evidence thus far that they actually did in a meaningful way. Do you agree with that assessment?
Well, look, so first things first, on the legislation itself, the intelligence community went in and briefed the entirety of the House Intelligence Committee, as well as the broader House, and it was a unanimous vote in favor of the bills. So there was something in that briefing that we have not seen that I think, frankly, should be declassified, or at least portions of that release, to let us know what so scared the House. The second is that the Department of Justice has alleged that ByteDance or TikTok officials have gotten down at the device level on journalists that have used the platform. So there's I think been some perhaps bad activity, but yeah, there is also a bigger specter of the manipulation factor that the algorithm presents that we need to be focused on, particularly at a time where information warfare, it's not just about cyber attacks, it is the information warfare and manipulating viewpoints across the national conversation.
Chris, let me ask you a separate technical question. It really goes to the question, and it's not really, this is not national security at all, but it's technical, which is one of the things we're all hearing is obviously it's going to get moved over to this Oracle. It's already at Oracle, but some of this, the algorithm is going to get transferred and this and that, and it's going to take some time, and you might actually have to download a new app and all of these things. Do you think that TikTok will ultimately have the same kind of success that it's had thus far? Or is this going to become a diminished product? Is this a big win for a Facebook and an Instagram, obviously owned by Meta?
Yeah, I don't know, right? We'll see. I think anytime that you force someone to add or download a new app, that you're going to see some disruption in the kind of transition from the old thing to the new thing. Branding remains same. You have the same experience. I suspect that you're going to have probably a pretty good chunk of the deal. I don't know if to the average U.S. consumer or user, who owns or who runs the platforms, frankly, a matter of concern. I think it's to the national security community we were just talking about, where the real hey, is this good enough? Right. Who's doing the trust and safety work, content moderation, and the algorithm? That's going to be the big question.
Okay, now I got a big philosophical question for you to weigh in on. And maybe I even put it in the context of national security in its own strange way. Joe and I were having a big debate this morning about free speech, about what's happened in the last week. Obviously, we're talking about Jimmy Kimmel on ABC, but we're also talking about social media. Do you think that there is any kind of groundswell anywhere in the country to change the laws around speech and responsibility, if you will, on these platforms? This goes to Section 230 and everything else, given the sort of remarkable polarization that we have in this country, and clearly the extremes and the nature of these tools, if you want to call them that, or apps, seems to be pushing people even farther apart.
Look, I mean, you absolutely hear a desire for something to change, but I am not picking up on any uniform or unified viewpoint of what that is. I think just like everything else, the national conversation is so incredibly polarized right now. And I think if you really want to kind of have the proxy conversation here, is how would a piece of legislation like that either changes Section 230, or changes something else when it comes to the First Amendment, how would that get through a Congress, let alone this Congress? So no, I don't think anything's likely anytime soon. There's not a whole lot of clarity in Washington, D.C. on what's next from a big legislative package perspective. So I think we're kind of stuck with what we got for at least the next 18 months, maybe even a little bit longer.
I just think there's both sides really do agree that something is amiss.
But both sides have tried it. That's the scary.
When it comes to when it comes to what's happening on social media. And by the way, I think you could do it where you're not even going at free speech per se. I mean, even if you could get rid of bots, I mean, obviously something Elon Musk was trying to do or said he wanted to do when he was trying to buy X originally. Even if you get rid of just sort of the bots that are pushing things around. This goes to some of the national security issues, Chris, because I think people have a view that either China or
get rid of
Iran
bots.
or others are somehow manipulating these tools. If you could get to a system where at least you knew that there were real people behind all of these things.
But if there was objective truth, maybe you could. But when it's subjective truth, you know what? I remember what that administration decided shouldn't be on Twitter, and now I'm looking at what the other administration decides what shouldn't be on Twitter. They're like not the same thing, and that I think that's why absolutists say anything, you know, it's a slippery slope. You don't want someone deciding what you're allowed to see, because depending on, it could change every 4 years, Chris.
Look, every one of these platforms has the technical capabilities to reduce the presence of bots on their platform. About, you know, increasing transparency on what's an ad, what's being promoted. We've seen time after time over the last several years of these foreign influence campaigns that are paying users, paying influencers, in fact, to go and push a certain narrative. That can all be preempted on platform by trust and safety teams. But at the same time, we've seen a decrease in investment of trust and safety over the last couple of years. So the term trust and safety itself has been demonized. So we've got a lot that I think the platforms have the ability to do. They're just not doing it. And I think if we're resting our hopes here on the Congress to get in and meaningfully intervene, then we got a long way to go here.
Well, unfortunately, it's not just bots that are evil. People themselves. Are you allowed to say that person should be taken out? Are you allowed to say that on Twitter?
I don't know. I tried to say it on cable. It might have just happened.
No, I'm not.
That's a threat.
Saying any particular person, but are you allowed to say something like that? This person
Probably
is
not.
terrible and something should be done about it. Are you allowed to say that still? I guess you probably could because no one's watching, are they?
Trust and safety teams in the past have come after that sort of language and either suspended people or kicked them off platform.
They do. Okay.
Yeah, they do.
Probably not. I'm going to say no on that one. What do we have? What do we have in the chat? Candyman. Looking back at all the success and failures in my life, I can't help but to be proud that at least the potty training stuck. Don't lie. Don't lie. Carlos. Swift coin to the moon, baby. Absolutely. Wendy, I always love seeing your super chats come through. Candyman giggles every time I see them. Yes, everybody loves Candyman super chats. Absolutely. Beast mode, altcoin season. I could feel it in my plums. You can feel it in your plums. This one's for you, buddy. This one's for you, man.
Can you feel the tension? I can. I can feel it down in my plums.
Good times. Good times. What else do we have? I'm always mesmerized by the purple, the guy on Squawk Box. Yeah, so unique. Do you have the bluish hue beast mode? Just green, yes. Benjamin, Rob, came across Plasma XPL today researching. Any thoughts on that one yet? No, I don't even know what it is, to be honest with you. Brock Lesnar for president 2028. Let's go. Here comes the pain. China's messing around. Here comes the pain. Suplex City. Blessings, John. Good to see you, my friend. John says smash the like button. Absolutely. Rich, what's up, man? I went to see a psychic about crypto. I knocked on the door. She said, "Who is it?" So I left. There you go. Pico. Yeah, no. Ha, ha, ha. What's up, Pico? What's up, Pico? There's Pico. Look at that cute cat. How could you not want to hold some Pico? What's the matter for you? If a dog sees this shadow, it's altcoin season. Look how cute I am. Nice. Thoughts on steer? You know, I saw it go crazy over the last 2 days. I don't really know anything about it. I'm going to have to do a little bit of research into it, to be honest with you. Oh, Wick gifted out 10 crypto future memberships. Make sure you guys all thank Wick 3D. Absolutely, man. Thank you so much, my friend. Ty, what's up, buddy? Ari's in the house. Anybody seen Gary? What else do we have? Noah. Let's go. LFG and Pico. Absolutely. Gary's on a yacht. Like, yeah. Gary's retired because he was holding Pico and LFG. I got Pico and I'm quite surprised. LFG. Pico says, hold me. Gary went to the store and hasn't come back. Hungry. Feed Pico, guys. Feed Pico. All right. What else do we have? Let's check this out. Tom Lee's Bitmine buys another 69 million Ethereum, holds massive $8.66 billion stack. Bitmine, the crypto firm led by Wall Street veteran Tom Lee, has expanded its Ethereum treasury once again, purchasing another 69 million worth of Ethereum through Galaxy Digital's over-the-counter desk. The latest acquisition brings Bitmine's holdings to roughly 1.95 million Ethereum, valued at $8.66 billion, according to Arkham data. Blockchain transactions records show a series of large transfers carried out between Galaxy Digital and Bitmine in recent hours. The settlements include 3,247 Ethereum worth 14.55 million, 3,258 Ethereum worth 14.6 million, 4,494 Ethereum worth 20.06 million, and 4,428 Ethereum worth 19.77 million, totaling 15,427 Ethereum, about $69 million worth in under an hour. The purchase underlines Bitmain's aggressive accumulation strategy. Data shows that Ethereum accounts for nearly the entirety of its $8.65 billion portfolio. They are all in, my friends. They are the definition of all in. Other tokens in its portfolio are negligible by comparison, except for Pico, including minor holdings in MakerDAO and a handful of experimental tokens with only a few $1,000s in value. Bitmain's latest purchase follows a series of substantial buys over recent weeks. On September 11th, the company received 46,255 Ethereum worth $201 million from BitGo Wallet across 3 addresses. A week earlier, on September 4th, Bitmain acquired 80,325 Ethereum valued at $358 million from Galaxy Digital and Falcon X. These acquisitions have lifted its total stash well above 2 million Ethereum in circulation, equivalent to about 1.8% of Ethereum's entire supply, according to the Treasury's reserve data. Corporate and institutional entities now collectively hold about 4.99 million Ethereum worth 22.2 billion, representing 4.13% of the token's circulating supply. According to Treasury reserve data, I already read that part. Bitmain leads this group with 2.15 million Ethereum, valued at $9.59 billion at peak pricing, followed by SharpLink Gaming with 838,000 Ethereum, worth $3.74 billion, and Ether Machine with 495,000 Ethereum, worth $2.2 billion. Beebs, I see you, brother. What's going on? Nick says, what exchange has Pico? Nick, you can swap it directly on Phantom Wallet or Jupiter. I think it's on MEXC too. Someone was saying over on the Patreon that it's on MEXC Plus or Dex Plus, something like that. So the Ethereum Foundation, by comparison, holds about 225,000 Ethereum, while Coinbase Treasury sits at 136,800. The scale of Bitmain's holdings has drawn comparisons to Strategy's long-standing Bitcoin strategy under Michael Saylor, where large corporate accumulation became a cornerstone narrative of BTC's institutional adoption. Bitmain appears to be positioning itself as Ethereum's equivalent, building a multi-billion-dollar Ethereum balance sheet as a long-term treasury reserve. Ethereum itself has been trading under pressure despite the accumulation. Well, of course, despite the accumulation, that's a dumb comment because they bought it OTC, so their purchase doesn't affect the value of the token, right? So, very big news, guys, as Tom Lee continues to acquire Ethereum en masse. And I could not be more bullish about it, to be honest with you guys. So, absolutely. What else do we have? Beebs, what's up, buddy?
Investment officer of Landsberg Bennett Private Wealth Management, and you were listening to what he said, Michael, and looking at your notes. If the Fed does not continue, then all bets are off.
Nick, the logo picture is the one that's on my screen right now under me. You see Pico, the chat? Look how cute I am? That's the one. That's the logo.
That's what he just said about not fighting the Fed. And your viewpoint is that the next inflation rate could be 3.15.
People are also putting the wallet or the address.
Theoretically, could make it a one and done, and then you're not fighting the Fed. So, are you uncomfortable in the market like he is? He said he was very uncomfortable.
I would be on certain parts. I think I agree with what a lot of David said. I think we're in a similar situation where we were a year ago, which is kind of shocking. We had 4 rate cuts last year. 2-year treasury was at 3.5. It went to 4.4. Stocks ripped in the back half of the year as inflation went higher. To me, I don't see a huge difference between where we are now. 2-year treasury is right around 3.5%. It moved to 4.4. I think you could see it move higher. I do think inflation's going higher. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think inflation going higher when economic growth is there. I think one of the issues I've always had has been recently, the valuation game hasn't worked. I get what David's saying, things are expensive. But if I looked at NVIDIA and Broadcom 3 years ago, everybody thought you were crazy to buy those because the valuations were crazy. Well, they've certainly grown into valuations because at the end of the day, the earnings have really been there.
Yeah. If you ever have invested money for people, one thing you learn is that when stocks are hitting highs, a lot of times they hit more new highs.
Yeah.
When stocks are hitting lows, unfortunately, they tend to, they can go all the way to zero. You marry your losers. My wife says that, but you marry your losers and you sell your winners.
Too early.
No one ever went broke taking a profit of like 15%, and then next thing you know,
no one gets rich taking the profit.
So it sounds like you could be long equities and short bonds, is what you're saying.
You could be.
Or at least not long bonds.
Yeah, and typically, when we look, we have a lower bond allocation. We've actually added alternatives, the golds of the world, to have that kind of balance from just having all stocks. But I think you can really own stocks here. My concern always is diversification. Dave talked about international. He's in China. I look at lower rates as small caps really underowned. Everybody on Wall Street, it's consensus bearish. When I look at what's going on, the futures are short S&P. They're really short the Russell, and the Russell's probably lower rates is going to be probably the best thing for small caps. So I think people could look at diversifying some of their Mag 7 exposure to small caps because the Mag 7 is so concentrated.
Do you like talking about individual names, or you just would rather talk about?
I talk individual names.
So what do you think if someone had some cash today?
Again, clients have cash today, and a lot of times if they've got overexposure to the Mag 7, which we're going to probably assume is the case,
right,
and we find things that are going to grow, there's about 25 or 30 names in the last 6 or 7 quarters that have outperformed the Mag 7 that aren't Mag 7 names. So one of the names I like is Axon. They make body cams and they make tasers. Those are businesses that aren't going to go away anytime soon. We sell them everywhere. Anytime you see anybody now that's arrested, you'll notice the top right-hand corner of the video is Axon. They have a huge market there. They're growing, 30% type growth. I think that's a good name people can own, not a tech name per se.
Don't tase me, bro. We used to have a video of.
Don't tase me, bro.
You can have a body cam filming someone getting tased.
Yeah. Well, let's say they don't tase it, just the body cam. If somebody arrested you, Joe, pulled you over, you got a body cam.
Right. You're not particularly, maybe you like AI, but you think at this point it's overdone?
I like AI. I think the problem is too many people own too few names in AI. That's really the issue I have is you're only owning chips. I think if you're going to own AI, you got to go out and look and say, hey, can I own data centers? Can I own cooling systems, the HVAC companies? Can I own some of the other names that are out there? The data center construction, energy. I think that's the issue I have is AI is a great theme. It's probably the big theme that we're going to see over the next 3 to 5 years. But if you only own a couple chip names, I think you've got a lot more risk than you think. Diversification is important. Again, it's a great theme, but you got to have more than just 1 or 2 names.
Yeah, you got to look at stocks for companies that are not going anywhere, guys. He's absolutely right. Charmander, I see you, buddy. What else do we got? All right, let's keep it going here. We got another piece to get into. Altcoin season. Altcoins are breaking resistance with 2016 style setup. Here's why analysts expect another alt season. Bruce, 2 ways to bank soon. 1 centralized and 1 decentralized. XRP is freedom. Hey, you're preaching to the choir, brother. I agree. I am definitely a fan of XRP, man. Altcoins are recording a breakout movement that resembles a 2016 pattern just before the largest alt season ever. Danny, I see you, buddy. Current market structures indicate resistance levels are being breached, after an extended consolidation. With analysts pointing to repeating technical formations across past cycles, this renewed momentum has placed altcoins back in focus. The chart tracking altcoin capitalization, or total 2, shows a strong upward move starting in 2016 that extended into early 2018. After this rally, the market corrected sharply and consolidated in a descending triangle until a breakout in 2020. Another peak formed in 2021, establishing a new all-time high before another correction began. The recent structure shows a higher low after extending consolidation. The resistance levels have been breached. According to Javin Marks, altcoins are breaking resistance similar to what it did in 2016, just before one of the largest altcoin seasons ever. Analysts also point to repeating triangular consolidation followed by rallies, a pattern now aligning with the current breakout phase. Shimutsu added, another alt-season signal has flashed, and it's much bigger than you think. It's much bigger than anything you've seen before. Noting a rare Bitcoin dominance death cross, historical comparison shows that similar setups in 2016 and 2021 were followed by strong parabolic rallies for altcoins. Bitcoin dominance has fallen from 66% in June to just below 58%, marking the sharpest decline since mid-2022. According to Crypto Elites, past crypto cycles show July 17 and July 2021 peaks in dominance were followed by altcoin seasons. The chart shows July 25th, 2025, July 2025 pointed to similar levels with downward dominance movements aligning with previous cycle behaviors. Altcoins have shown renewed strength this week. Binance coin reached $1,000 and Hyperliquid peaked at $59.30. Ethereum is now only 8% away from its all-time high, while XRP, Solana, and Tron follow closely behind. According to Colin Talks Crypto, the total 3 chart, excluding stablecoins, is on the cusp of a breakout supporting the current rally outlook. Are we about to see a monster altcoin season, my friends? We'll find out. We'll find out, right? I'm here in the background planning a trip with the siblings. Nice. There you go. Pico says, Gary's back. He was just out. His hand glitter again. LFG. I like RWA crypto. Absolutely. Just picked up some more Pico and LFG. Nice, Jared. Nice. Michael, so when ETH to 8K? Probably sometime, maybe December, January, maybe. So, yeah. Well, all right, guys, there you go. Listen, I got some stuff to do. It is open mic night over on the Patreon. I also dropped 2 more trades in our trading group this evening. You're going to want to get in on those guys before they break out. Check it out today. The link is down below in the description. It's in the pinned comments. Guys, we've been knocking it out of the park in the trading group and so much more. Book your coaching calls and everything in between, guys. Beeb says, Rob, tell me what you think about this scenario. Rate cut in October and December. Pause in January, which would be the end. Bitcoin peak end of October, early November. Yeah, I can see that. Yep. That's pretty close to where I think things are going to go, to be honest with you. So, yeah. All right, guys. So, like I said before, check it out. Join the trading group. It's open mic night over on the Patreon and so much more. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. I'll see you guys in the next one. God bless.